We for sure can go to Rosh Chodesh Shvat. This year is Purim is not till Adar Beis. So
Yeah.
as long as we finish it by, if we can wrap it up by the end of Shvat. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'arta lanu midvarim.
Amen.
First time I learned Hanukkah like this.
Yeah, yeah.
Never went into
That's for sure. We had a lot of lights.
May.
That's it. כל עם ישראל. כל השמונים והפתילות כשרים.
Still sorry.
Robert?
It's good, it's good, it's good. Okay. Now, I just want to be Tov Reish Ayin Dalet. Tov Reish Ayin Dalet. I just want to go in a little bit to
I know.
Tov Reish Ayin Dalet. Simon Tov Reish Ayin Dalet. Here, give me your book. Okay, you got. Thank you. Huh?
Ryan Racklin, you all are up.
Okay, then. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for joining us. Let's read it over very quickly. I just wanted last year after the shir, someone asked a shaila, and I figured Sunday morning I'll try to get to it if it wasn't but shiyasa. So see if today, let's see if it'll work today. We spoke about this. It's like it's interesting. It's a little bit of a not so negayed bisman hazeh, which is that there is a bizoin mitzvah to use to take from a candle that's being used for a mitzvah and to use it for something else, to light from a mitzvah. So in those days, it was a very popular thing. How are you supposed to have light? They didn't have easy box of matches,
Yeah.
and they didn't have electricity, so they used candles. So if you could, so the Marshal brings that the people used to send over the shifcha, send the maid to the shul. The shul has a lot of candles. With a candle, she should go over to the chandelier take a little bit of light and come home. This way, they have fire in the house.
But I don't understand. I thought anything we're not allowed to do, we can't get a non-Jew to
That's what the Marshal. That's what the Marshal said. You're not allowed to do that. Saying it's something that could have happened all the time. Baruch Hashem, today we have electricity. If you need a candle, we have a box of matches. And if you don't have a box of matches, you have a lighter.
Yeah.
And a lighter is not that expensive. You can get it for 59 cents. So
No more is 59 cents.
no.
Charge you $1. I saw people asking.
Yeah.
$1? So, okay. We were talking about it. I do see sometimes that the people walk over with a cigarette, and they walk over the mashal in front of the chazan.
Yomted.
Right.
Want to smoke.
Right. So if you finish davening already, the shekach are coming. Mamish, I'm Mamish. Today is a dedicated cheer to your shaila from last week.
So you have to sit with us.
Here, Tafresh Ayin Dalid. Tafresh Ayin Dalid. Yes.
You want some seltzer? Perfect. Do we pass you any of the cookies?
You always see children when they're at night. They can come out out.
Yeah. Like I said, kids like to play with candles. They like to play with fire. But okay, let's get straight. I just want to talk about this one shaila, and then we'll talk maybe about another few shailas that. Okay, so let's just read the words of the Sifra fast. Madlik Ner Chanukah. We have plenty of copies there.
Mina Chanukah.
Ner Chanukah. Medavka lahadlik zem zavar emtsoi. Aber lahadlik mizela ze. Al yedei go al yedei ner shel choil. Also, you could light one from the other. Because one from the other, we're saying that's not a problem. Like we said last week, we had like we said from the menorah in the Beis Hamikdash, that you had the psilus in the cups,
Yeah.
and you could light
Some cities are done.
one from one to the other. So if you're lighting from one to the other, it's not a problem. Oh, thank you. But if you're going to use a match, a kinsa, or a candle from one to the other, that's awesome. There's those that are matir also this. One way of learning it is that the first opinion is Rav and the other one is Shmuel, but there's all kinds of ways of twisting this. Even the Yeshmatirim say that if you're going to take a match and there's a chash that it's going to get blown out before you do any mitzvah with it, then you're not allowed to. Okay? That the minig is by Neres Chanukah a special chumrah. They don't bechlal do from one to the other. As I said, that Ramah holds and Mishabura passes like Ramah that this chumrah is only by Neres Chanukah. Kol zayin erag by chedel kol mitzvos na rach shavez not mitzvos muter mano kol shkin shmut lahadlik bem. After the half hour, then of a mitzvos, so you're allowed to have a noah. So kol shkin you're allowed to be madlik from it. Okay, so we spoke last week a lot about what was in Nogel Hachmir. That Magen Avraham had one shita, and there was another shita. Totally, what was in Nogel Hachmir? That Rama holds it's only got Neres Chanukah because there's two ways of learning. Remember from the Sikha, having extra Neres and Chanukah is a hiddur in the Gabra or a hiddur in the Chefetz. So if it's a hiddur only in the Gabra, so the Rebbe said that there is two svaras on this. So if it's only in the Gavra, it's different because the first one is Be'etzim mitzvah, and the other one is only in the Gavra, so therefore you shouldn't light from one the other. That's the minig oilam. The Gemara is mashmas mutu. We spoke about it last week. Okay. Halacha beis yesh mishayim eshener shel beis hakneses v'shel Shabbos v'shel Chanukah kulam mitzvahin mut lahadlik zeh mizeh. That because these are all mitzvah, beis hakneses, Shabbos, Chanukah. They're all mitzvah, so you could light one from the other. The Ramah is moisav huadin ner shel Talmud Torah ner lechoila tzorech ner. That if a person is sick and needs a candle, that's called ner shel mitzvah. A ner shel Talmud Torah in the yeshiva where they learn is called a ner shel mitzvah. All these are called ner shel mitzvah.
After half hour, maybe.
Yeah, we said before. After half an hour is no problem. We said in the previous sif. So ner shel beis hakneses, shel Shabbos, shel Chanukah, shel Talmud Torah, ner lechoila. All these are ner shel mitzvah. You're allowed to light one from the other. So in the Mishnah Berurah, let's learn it. We didn't learn it last week inside, so let's look inside the last Mishnah Berurah. You know what? Let's go back up a little bit. Siv Zayin, Ches, and Tes in the Mishnah Berurah. The last three Sivot in the Mishnah Berurah. So he said that Amos said to be machmer baner Chanukah, because one is the mitzvah, the rest is not the mitzvah. Fakasavnu. Yeah, here, right here. Fakasavnu sheim nich be'echem min hanelis ein lahadlik medina min hanelis acheris. If one of them were blown out, then for shtetzach you're not allowed to. Because once it's blown out, there's no mitzvah because zakov saying zakuk. Kosev Rashal. The Rashal wrote, "Basic neses ein chiluk ben shamish l'shar hanelis." The shamish and the other candles all have the equal yichus. Because all the candles in the basic nesses are called ner mitzvah. What's the difference? At the end of it, the shamish is the one candle that they get used to light all the candles in the chandelier. At the end, they take the last candle and they put it in one of the candle holders. He himself is a candle for the basic nesses. So משום הוכי יש ליגר בעצם שמדליקים נרסאים על ידי השבוחס מנר בית הכנסת אפילו מן השמש. Those people that send their servant to the shul to light a candle from the shul, it's also, you have to scream at them. Chutz v'motzah Shabbos, k'dei leilach lebeitze lahor v'movos ha'afelos. Motzah Shabbos is an exception. It's very dark outside, and it's a mitzvah to put candles, street lamps. It's a mitzvah, like we spoke about it last week. Well, it's mentioned. A lamplighter, we need lamplighters in the Mavos Hafelas.
You didn't have flashlight.
No, so they needed a lamplighter. Okay. Weiter, man. Once it's already after the half hour, so then you're allowed to be nena from the shaman. Kolchkin shemut lahadlik lefi mashakazav na leil the express himself in the cold mashadel come also sham sham who then lahadlik man. Because ما كمنير دين الحكمر بزاد أكلن الحدلك من نيرش الخيل نيرش المتس the مدينة موتر في البتخشير so you shouldn't be machmer that much. So al koponim ein lo lahakma achar shav rashi. Okay, makes sense. Weiter, the last sifkot in the Mishnah Berurah mut lahadlik mizel lazeh I'm bebir agro. Shekosov the ladei rishayna lil besim tafresh and gimel sifal. Filo tashmish kedusha os l'shtamish l'nei Chanukah. Kosvatam sheina doima lo the kaim london madlikim in ner l'nei. This was Iran that we dealt with when we finished. We started Mamish Sugi and Shabbos. Sheina doima lo the kaim london madlikim in ner l'nei. Awesome kulin is chad a mitzvah. Mashenken lilma the mitzvah cheres v'niris kemavat l'zoy zoy. So give for gam binyanenu awesome. He's quoting only half the Gra, but this half is mamish the ironclad. That the Saran says that you're not allowed to use anything from a Ner Chanukah, not even a Dovashal Mitzvah, not even a Dovah Kal Shabakal. You're not allowed to use anything from a Ner Chanukah. So how come the Gemara says you're allowed to light one candle from the other? You're not allowed to use a Ner Chanukah. So how could you light one from the other? So the Ran answers because this is called a mitzvah. This is one mitzvah. So one mitzvah, so it doesn't matter one from the other. It's not a bizoyan. If you want to take something else, even if it's another mitzvah, then you're not allowed to. So now that we said in the Pnim that you're allowed to light from one and the other, so it's yesh misham, it's totally in that machloikis. It's totally in the machloikis in the previous simon. If the one Shitta said that you're not allowed to use a Ner Chanukah, no way, no how. You're not allowed to do anything in front of Ner Chanukah. So,
Can't even light from
so you can't. So how could you say that you're allowed to do one mitzvah from another mitzvah? You could take a Ner Basic Nesses of a Ner Chanukah. You said you're not allowed to do anything in front of a Ner Chanukah. You're not allowed to learn even a piece of Gemara for 1 minute. Only Ner Chanukah to Ner Chanukah is called a mitzvah. So, it's l'chayde, that part is sensible. That's what's the problem? What's the problem? Problem is someone asked a question last week. But the Mashal, he just quoted a Mashal, and the Mashal says that Motzah Shabbos, when it's dangerous to go in the streets, you're allowed to. So the Ner Basic Nesses and Mavos Afelas are two different mitzvahs. Ner Basic Nesses b'Pashtus is because the pasuk said B'Ul Kavdu Hashem that it's a covet for David to have a lot of candles in the shul. We spoke about it last week. That Hashem Libiat Lichtalach, the story with Tzemach Tzedek that Rebbe explained. The Eis Lichtalach v'chulu. So that's candles in the Basic Nesses. Candles in the dark alleys and the dark streets. That's not what he said. He didn't say Shemeket Tanai. He said Medina. Well, Miyat Tanai Nishta Tanai. It's not what the Mashal said. If the Mashal would have said that, we would have said that. But not what he said. The Mashal said, so someone asked this question. Gekvetch the hin, gekvetch the her. But you know what? I said, let me look at the Mashal. Better give him my own terutzim. It's always good. It's always good to look up. Because if you look it up, you have to make terutzim. You don't have to cook up your own terutzim. Must tell you, if you look up in the Mashal, the gross taka wrong. Taka's wrong. The Mashal might have not been available to the Gra. You can see the Mashal, but I'll read the words in the Mashal. The Mashal says,
Where's the Mashal? Sure.
Mashal is Trubis. So that's different. The Yam Shalem, I think, was very available.
Yeah.
The Yam Shalem was very, very available. It's Negay. I want to give I just want to say something about the Mashal. But I'm soon going to say that it's two ways of learning Shulchan Aruch. Either the Shulchan Aruch agrees with Mashal, works well with the Shulchan Aruch, or he doesn't work well. So if you ask the Mashal, well, 1 second, maybe you're disagreeing with the Shulchan Aruch.
He didn't care about shit.
That's
He liked everything like
he didn't like the whole project of the Shulchan Aruch. The Mashal, you tell him you're not masking the Shulchan Aruch. I'm not masking to the whole thing. This Sefer is one big mistake. It shall not be printed. What happened? The Mashal, it's funny, the Mashal is so many years after the Rambam, the night is the Eretz of the Rambam. He didn't like this whole business. Just like the Balai, he said, that's not the way we do. Uns Yidden, that's not the way we work. He didn't like the Rambam. What do you mean you make a collection? What do you mean you make a collection? The way a Yid learns Torah, learn the Gemara. You want to know what Aloch is? So just like the Rosh, what did the Rosh do? On every daf, the Rosh wrote a summary of what's the halachas based on the Bala Toisvus. Like if you have complicated Toisvus. By the way, the Alter Rebbe, there's Agdam Spnei Machaber in the Shulchan Aruch. He said that the Alter Rebbe said, "What's the secret of how to learn Shas?" Not everyone has time to sit and learn Gebi Gemara Rashi Toisvus. It's a lot of time.
Learn about.
No, the Alter Rebbe said to learn Gemara Rashi Rosh. Very interesting.
Yeah, the Rosh brings out.
Because the Rosh brings everyone. He brings and he brings all the Ikriya Toisvus. And Taka, sometimes you have a hard Toisvus.
Yeah.
Toisvus is going backwards and forwards, and your head is spinning already. You don't know what's going on. So if you look in the Rosh is going to bring the Ikri Divrei Toisvus. What's the halacha? Well, yeah, what's the halacha? What's the bottom line? The sikkum of the Toisvus is the Rosh. That's why the Alter Rebbe said. The Mittel Rebbe brings it in the Akdama of the Shulchan Aruch that if you want to learn Shas and you don't have the headspace for Gemara Rashi Toisvus the Rishonim, Gemara Rashi Rosh. It's very not the style today. I haven't seen the Lubavitch yeshivas. They shtusseling. So they learn the Yuna Azavinala yeshivas. That in a year, if you did 8 daf, wow, that we did a lot.
Oh.
And then they do 90 miles per hour Gemara Rashi for the rest of the Masechta. And Lubavitch, you like to finish the Masechta. Other yeshivas, they don't care. They can learn Baba Basra. I said this year we learn Baba Basra. How many daf you learn Baba Basra? I learned 10 daf from Baba Basra. Lubavitch, you want to finish the Masechta. So learn 10 daf, Kakir Biyun. And then the other said it's called Gis. Said learn Gemara Rashi 90 miles per hour.
Who's the Rosh?
Oh,
It's a listener.
no, the Rosh is the Rabbeinu Osher, Talmud of Maram Rothenberg. And he was from the Gedolei Chachmei Ashkenaz. But you know what? Where was he the rabbi?
In Sephardic place.
Oh, that's a Sephardic place. He was in Sharei Torah. His name was Rabbi Hecht, and he was a rabbi in Sharei Torah. That's true. That's true. Rabbeinu Osher. He was in Spain. So he was a rabbi of Toledo. So the Rosh is the Marshal said, I don't like this thing. What did the Bet Yosef do? He went. The truth is the Bet Yosef did nothing wrong. Because the Rosh Hashanah Tur set up the Shulchan Aruch. What do you want from the Shulchan Aruch? He did nothing wrong. The Rosh Hashanah, the Tur, is the one that set up 4 Turim, Erechaim, Yeredeya, Ebenezer, Choshen Mishpat. What do you want? What's the tightness of the Bet Yosef? The Rabbi Yaakov Balaturim did so. But Lapoil,
You'll make a shortcut. They won't learn the Makor.
oh, they're not learning Gemara. What kind of? That's not the way. We don't do that way. We learn Gemara. You want to know the halacha? So write your pirush on the Gemara. That's what the Marshal did. The Marshal did. It's very gishmak. The Marshal. Marshal is really. It's a very
Marshal or Marsha?
Marshal. Reb Shlomo. Reb Shlomo Luria. So he wrote the Sefer Yam Shel Shlomo. He didn't manage to write in all the Masechtas. All the Masechtas that we have are very gishmak. Yam Shel Shlomo. So you learn the daf, and then you learn Namsha Shloima. It's a redux of everything, and it's very nice. It's really the same style of the Rosh. But he didn't like the Shulchan Aruch style. Not at all. Right. He said you can't pass him this way. This is all one big mistake. Okay. Anyway, I'll be again in a second why I'm talking about the Mashal's different mahala. Anyway, the Mashal is a tshuva that is constantly quoted here. He says, also l'shtamish lo'ira main tashmish rishus main tashish mitzvah. V'af tashmish arei. Even the smallest thing, you're not allowed to use in front of an erchanik. You go on that tzos mos. Also, machish makarev yodav el aneir. Avol short tashmish arei. Sure. If you're doing a little tashmish arei, it's mutter. Now, we mentioned earlier that the Shulchan Aruch doesn't hold this way. No, if you want to kvetch, you could say the Shulchan Aruch held that way. But if you're going to tell me that the Taz and the Bach and the Magen Avraham all say no, that's when the Shulchan Aruch said in the previous simon, he says also l'shtamish negen ner Chanukah, afila limnes mos, afila davar shel mitzvah. So they said it meant really the Ran Shita, which is no way, no how. You're not allowed to do anything done in ner Chanukah. The Rosh says you're allowed to do a little bit if it's because the Rosh was medayik, and the Gemara said otzel hartzes mos kineged ner Chanukah. Mashma, when it's keneged, but if it's the other end of the room, is mashma it's mutter. That's the way the Rosh was medayik, and the Mashal he obviously holds the same way. You see, the Mashal holds that way, but the Ran holds not that way. The Ran holds it, and the Taz and the Magen Avraham and the Bach say the previous simon it's mashma. The Shulchan Aruch was holding like the Ran that you're not allowed to do anything in front of a Ner Chanukah, not even the other end of the room. Okay, but the Ran halts zayin shita. He's not responsible for the Shulchan Aruch. First of all, you can einkvetch in the Ran and Shulchan Aruch, and if you don't kvetch, whatever, he'll disagree with the Shulchan Aruch. Then he continues. That you should scream at the people. Like I said last week, that Sholem Melech had a grandfather that made sure to put lamp lights in all the streets. And he put lamp lighters all over the streets in the Mavos Afela, and that's what was that his grandson Shaul was to be a king. Okay, fine. Then he continues. Ner shel Abdullah quoted Ner shel Mitzvah, Lacha Shivdalak for Abba Mitzvah, so V'yachal Adlik Mimena. Okay. What means when is the mitzvah finished when they're Chanukah by Avdollah? Once you already finished the bracha of Avdollah, when you say Boida Moida Eish.
Fatima, no?
Huh? I don't know. So the question is, when could the kids start playing? If the kids want to play games,
So we're not allowed to play, then that's your mitzvah.
so don't tell the kids Makan Lan Alams until after Avdollah, until after Avdollah. Okay. Anyway, back to the Mashal. We see obviously that the Mashal didn't buy the Lomdus what the Gra is saying. The Mashal says it's also to use Ner Chanukah. No, you're not allowed to use Ner Chanukah. You're not allowed to do anything, even a Davishal mitzvah. The Gra said that if you hold, there's two shittas. One shitta says you're not allowed to do anything, and the other one says you're allowed to do a mitzvah. You're allowed to do in front of a Ner Chanukah. This opinion that says that you're allowed to do a mitzvah holds you're allowed to light a Ner Shel Shabbos, a Ner Shel Chanukah, a Ner Shel Beis Knesses, a Ner Shel Shabbos. And the other opinion says you're not allowed to. But you see that the Mashal holds it both put together. You see that the Mashal holds that it's also to do anything in front of a Ner Chanukah, and still he says that you're allowed to light the candle of Muvos Afelus, which is the mitzvah of Avos Yisrael, from the candle of a Beis Knesses, which is Burim Kabdu Hashem. So you see the Mashal says he does put the two things together. He holds l'chumra. He holds you're not allowed to light. You're not allowed to use a Ner Chanukah for anything. But still, he holds you're allowed to take one mitzvah and do from another mitzvah. The light of Mavos Afelus you're allowed to do. That was a shayla that you asked last week. So you see the Mashal Vet Nishnas Ball. It's not true. I'll tell you what, because the Mashal holds like the Rosh. So the Mashal has a little way out. The Mashal holds that only Keneged Ner Chanukah you're not allowed to, but it's the other end of the room you're allowed to. So it could be the Mashal held that lighting one candle a mitzvah from another is a dove kal shebekalim. It's like using a Ner Chanukah to count money in the other end of the room. So it's not because it's 1 second. You're taking a candle from a candle. So it's not considered much. So just like you're allowed to count the money in the other end of the room, so you're allowed to take one candle from another candle. Because that's considered like a kal shebekalim, like you're counting money in the other end of the room. So the mashal is nishkin kasha. Like kasha is on the Mishnah Brura. How do you bring the mashal and the grob b'chod machta? These are not two shittas that are consistent with each other. They don't go together.
That's what you have to look up.
It's not a hand and a glove.
Yeah.
It's not in a hand and a glove. If you hold like the gra has a shtake. Especially if you learn that the Shulchan Aruch didn't hold like the Mashal and the Rosh. So the Shulchan Aruch said before that you're not allowed to use the Ner Chanukah no way, no how. You're not allowed to use it for anything. Nothing. So the Shulchan Aruch would probably hold like the Yesh Mishaymer that Ner Shabbat Shabbos Chanukah is also lahadlik zemizeh. So and the Mashal says mutter. Okay, Mashal doesn't agree with the Shulchan Aruch. The Mashal etnish nespal from the Shulchan Aruch. He disagrees with the Shulchan Aruch. He disagrees that Shulchan Aruch should have been printed b'chal. So he has no problem with arguing with the Shulchan Aruch. But you, the Mishnah Brura, how do you bring these two things b'chod machta? They don't go together. If I'm reading the Simon, I go away thinking that I'm allowed to take a candle from a bus and light it from the candle of the Beis HaKnesses.
But it's the Shabbos.
But
Exception.
yeah, but still that not allowed to, because if you hold that this is only going like the Shita the Marshal, which is not like the Shita the Shulchan Aruch B'Pashtos. It says that Abyssal Epis Vos you're allowed to do Keneged Ner Chanukah. If you wanted to count money in the other end of the room, would be mutter. And the Mashal held that from one mitzvah to another mitzvah is not that bad. The bezoin is very small, so far the pay the mitzvahs. It's like counting money in the other end of the room. But be it as it may, you can't bring the Mashal and the Gra one after the other. These two things, the Gainish Tzazaman. The Mashal says that you're allowed to light a mitzvah for mitzvah. And the Gra says that if you hold that it's also to use Ner Chanukah, you're not allowed to do anything in front of a Ner Chanukah, so then you're not allowed to light mitzvah to mitzvah. So the Mashal hotzach zaneg and shita. Okay, fine. Then the Mashal is not like the Gra. The Mashal is not.
It's a maker.
He's not holding like the Gra. The Gra says, well, if you hold, you're not allowed to do anything in front of an Ner Chanukah, you're stuck. And you're not allowed to light candle for mitzvah for mitzvah. Mashal five tzachon of the Gra. He says, don't tell me what to do. You have a nice lumdus. I can't. The Gra halt that if you can't do anything in front of Ner Chanukah, then you can't light from mitzvah to mitzvah. Mashal says, you know what? Ich halt hazoi. What are you going to do? You're going to put me in jail? Ich halt hazoi. But the Mashal has a way out, because the Mashal holds that you're allowed to count moas in the other end of the room, even though it's a Ner Chanukah. And it could be he holds that lighting from mitzvah to mitzvah, it's a mitzvah. So it's nicht gefährlich, it's nicht shazah bezoin. But us, that we don't seem to hold like the Mashal in the previous Simon, the Taz, the Shach, the Taz, the Mogan Avram, everyone said that we don't hold of the Shach. We hold it's also to do anything in front of an Ner Chanukah. So, okay. So, the Gra is gerech, but you can't bring the Mashal and the Gra on one page. So, okay, so if we hold like the Gra, then you're not allowed to light the candles. I'm not asking about Mr. Shal and the Gra. Now my Shaila is on the Mishnah Brura. My Shaila on the Gra is not everyone holds this way. You made your pilpul, the Mashal doesn't. Okay, fine. But now I'm asking on the Mishnah Brura. You can't bring the Mashal and the Gra one after the other. So bottom line is, what I'm saying is that that probably the Gra has a point. And if you hold, you're not allowed to use anything in front of an Ner Chanukah, even a mitzvah, and even to learn for 1 minute, because it's two separate mitzvahs. So if you want to light one mitzvah from another mitzvah, it's also. So this that the Mashal says that you're allowed to light a candle from Avos HaFeilim from Beis HaKnesses is Shaloi Aliba de Hilchos Aliba de Dan. So therefore you can't bring it. So I'm saying the bottom line is l'chumra. So we don't, that if we hold the Poiskim, Magavram, the Taz, says that in the previous segment that we said it's also to use Ner Chanukah. No, we spoke about it, Barichas, And that's the diuk. There's three things. Number one. Number two. And number three, the three things is to emphasize, like that it's kodesh. You can only count mishtamish, even liroisen is the only thing you could do liroisen. You can't count, because if you say I'd say okay, but I could count money in the other end of the room. So kamash malon that even if I want to count money in the other end of the room, I'm not allowed to. That's what we were talking about on Chanukah. That's the diuk in the Neder Salolu, and that's a teseft. It's not something I'm saying a diuk in the most so Yeshuasi. Neder Salolu is a teseft. So
How says in a Yom Yom that our minhag Chabad that you sit half an hour and no one but the next.
no, because we have a shamish and we have light in the room. Besides, we have many other lights that we're using.
But going to this, let's say you go in a house that there's no light.
You have to learn a mime about that. You have to learn a mime about that. To learn the blades and nonsense.
In Gaza this year, right? In buildings that there's no light, no water, nothing. They're like
Unbelievable.
right?
Yeah, that light is Azak Kedusha. That light is Azak Kedusha. Anyway, so to be Masakim, the Marshal has his Mahalach, but anyway, the Dam probably the Gra is right. But Bamela, you can't tell me that you're allowed to take in order for Mavos Afeli, you're allowed to take the native's basic necessities, because we hold you only B'chod mitzvah. You could light from here to here, from here to here. B'chod mitzvah in the menorah in the base of mikdash. B'chod mitzvah. But if you want to do from mitzvah to mitzvah, you want to learn a mimer in front of the candle of the Chanukah. It's also unless you have a chandelier in the room. So we taka would not hold like mashal. I'm not saying. I'm just saying that the Mishnah Berurah brought the mashal, but the emes is that the mashal is nicht ausgehalten. L'chayre l'didan. It's not true. Mashal is very good because mashal holds you're allowed to do a little bit. The other end of the room, if you want to count money, you can count. So there is a little bit. There's a crack. There's a little bit of a kula. So he says one mitzvah to another mitzvah. It takes 1 second, and for 2 mitzvahs. It's like counting money the other end of the room. Well, we don't hold this way. So if we don't hold this way, so you can't bring me the mashal. Okay.
What about to shut off the candles?
Half
an hour past, right? It's a mitzvah. Now you're shutting off the mitzvah.
Most look, besides one sheet, everyone holds that after half hour it's already not the mitzvah anymore. Most shittas hold that after half hour is not the mitzvah anymore.
Everybody after half an
Not everyone.
You're allowed to know.
Not everyone.
Because
the shittas that hold.
Not the shittas that you're not allowed to.
No, but that's the halacha is noita that after a half hour
you're allowed to.
That's a din of Shulchan Aruch. The Bach is machmer. The halacha is noita to say that it's fine after half hour.
Most of them, there's a Knesset, the neighbors should blow out the candles with your mouth. You go like this.
Okay, and there's a meaning. Yeah, we spoke about it the other night. Yeah, we spoke about it last week. Yeah. I just want to go Messiah. Yesterday we spoke a more big thing about Yehuda. First of all, I just didn't get a chance to be Messiah. It's but the Rashi holds that Bechorah was different than Kuhuna Malchus. Yehuda took Malchus, right, and then Kuhuna was Oimed, whatever until. But Rashi says that Reuven lost these two, but he didn't lose Bechorah. So, first of all, what do you mean he didn't lose Bechorah? He lost Bechorah. It was given to Yosef. So I already mentioned yesterday that the Rebbe says, even though it's a pasuk mafurish, that Nitna Meruven, Nitna Lebnei Yosef, so it's for the children. He still had the din of Bechor. Lagabi Bechor L'Nachla from his father, he still had. And Lagabi Yerusha anyway was irrelevant. Rashi says that everyone got the. So that it's not like if Ephraim and Asher one shevet, 2 shvatim, they got the same amount of land. They didn't get more or less real estate if they're 1 shvatim and 2 shvatim. So and that diuk is bnei. But for Taka, why does Rashi? All the Midrashim and the Targum say that he lost all 3. That he lost Bechor, he lost Huna, and lost Malchus. According to Rashi, he didn't lose Bechor. So Mekvetch Tazoi, He didn't lose Bechor. He didn't lose Bechor. His children didn't get to the Golem and Yosef instead, but he didn't lose Bechor. But why can't you learn like everyone else? So this side didn't get a chance yesterday to be Messiah. So because the Rebbe's chidush about the difference of Yehuda and Reuven, that Reuven was zoichet because Reuven's problem was that he was sakeh b'tanise, but he was in himself. No one else had a tayelus from it. Yosef was nebach in the bird, nachosh maklavim. His head was in tshuva, but he neglected his brother. And Lapoil, there was never a tayelus from his tshuva to someone else. Mashiach Yehuda, in both stories, even though he wasn't such a tzaddik here, he sold his brother into slavery, and they used the money. And also with Tamar, he wasn't the biggest tzaddik. He thought she was a zoyman. And then what they should get killed. So far, the menschlichkeit, right? So it's not like he did the biggest sitkis, but still, whatever he did affected other people. He saved Tamar and the two babies. He saved Yosef from being killed. The Rebbe said that Reuven, his son Reuven, was that he was too busy besakev tanisai. So Kahuna Malchus, yes es yes oz. Yes es means to give a bracha to someone else. Yes Oz means to yitin oizl malka, which is Malucha, which is to look after. Leadership is to look after someone else. So Yaakov had a time to Reuven that you proved yourself not to be capable of being a leader, not in Kahuna, not in Malchus. But B'choyre, was it B'choyre to Tamid leadership? Was it B'choyre to Tamid? Was this? That's a schus. Reishis oini, koichi v'reishis oini. That's koichi v'reishis oini. So what should that be taken away? And that was not taken away. Elamai, the schus of the golem, that was a separate thing. That was something that was not negayah so much to Reuven, it was negayah to his children, and that taka he gave to Yosef that he should have two the golem, and lav dafke that Reuven would have two the golem, and if Yosef, it's lav dafke that Reuven he deserved it medin b'choira. But anyway, that's the nekuda. There's a Avram Yitzchak
Don't think about yourself, think about other.
Yeah. That's why he lost Malchus and he lost Kuna, because Malchus Kuna is an hoge for andere Yid. Schenke b'choyre, Rashi said, why should he tell me he lost a b'choyre? But it is, he was the Reishis Oini of Yaakov Avinu. He was still remained the Reishis Oini of Yaakov Avinu. So why should we say that he lost b'choyre? So that he didn't lose b'choyre. The pasuk say, Nitne me b'nei Reuven v'nitne le b'nei Yosef. The Rebbe is medayik b'nei Yosef, b'nei Reuven. But Taka, Reuven himself did not lose his b'choyre.
Rabbi, we see when they asked Yaakov to send Binyamin, and he refused, only Reuven and Yehuda stood up and said, "You take my children, I will not leave." Only both of them stood up and told Yaakov, "Do everything you want, just give us."
Also here, Reuven.
So he's showing a little bit.
Reuven tried, but he didn't know how to make it happen. Yehuda was shrewd. He said, "Let the Zokin sit there, and when it'll be Kola Pasman Abayis,
Yeah, you will send us.
don't worry. Don't worry.
The time will do it.
The time will do it. Mashalo yad betachbulas tatzela makom makom. Who asa kach betachbulas. But still, you see, he got the job done. The Rebbe doesn't say it, but it's true what you're saying, and it goes very well. Anyway, the Zayid Rebbe Avram Yitzchak Aviner, he's a Mr. Ochirov. He publishes a lot of svarim. So I just shtickle Vartoida from this week. He says that Kadavid Natalia, he was reading the books of Walt Disney, and one of the first stories of Walt Disney in the children books is a Maisa mit Arya. That the Arya forgot that he's an Arya. He ended up with a bunch of Kawasim. And the mother Kevis took him in as a child. And as a Kevis, he was a Moedeke Yukul. And the other Kawasim laughed at him because he was a black sheep. He didn't know how to act like he tried to make meh. He didn't know how to make meh. He didn't know how to perform like a. But so whatever, Lapoil, he was one of the family. And there came along a wolf, and all the sheep went running to their mommy. But the mommy, there's nothing she could do. The wolf was going to come and eat up one of the kvasim. And mit dem all, the lion hat sich demanded that he's a lion, that he could do something. So he went to jumping out and he killed the kevus. And he killed the zay. And now he became the big hero. So the Bavram Yitzchak Aviner says that a Yid is a Yehuda, a Yid is a lion, a good Arya. The problem is that we forget who we are. We forget. We think we're like all the other people in the world, but we're a Yukul at that. At that we're a Yukul. Because we
كيف سياخد بشم
but the emes is we are a Yukul because a Yid tries to be like him like a goy and if he looks like a Yukul because Fortnish can goy. He can't. A goy is happy, has a bottle of beer and he smiles and he's happy and he's good. And his smile is a emes shmeich. He's emes happy. But a Yid, come on, give him a bottle of beer. He's not. He's not. Because he's nicht. He's not. So he comes across as a yukul among the goyim. But if he decides to be a good arya, if he decides to be a Yid, a Yehudi Ata, like Yehuda, so then the goyim will respect him. I'll be a little bit adding salt and pepper to the Yitzchak Saviner's word, but Kaponim, I think it's cute. Everything in this world you can learn a lesson of Avodas Hashem, and Walt Disney's Narisha stories could obviously be learned in Avodas Hashem. So Yesh Loimer, that's how we learn.
Sure.
Thank you. Here. I underlined. Yeah, let's keep I underlined it. Who had?
Not just now. I mean, Shneir Zalman, the fire stack from Kremitz.
Yeah.
Bus driver, you know?
No.
His father is Israeli.
He was
Ginger.
a school bus driver for, what was it? Oh, Tyra, he graduated from the police academy Friday. Full beard. So his wife had a baby boy not a month ago or so. He was asking if he was married. I said, no, he's married. He has kids, and he just said he was the fourth.
Well, his father has a store in Kingston Avenue.
That's his uncle.
Oh, that's an uncle. Okay.
Shneir Zalman.
I'm saying it's a bocher that went to marry, living for nights, walking for nights. You know, police like him. Fully.
Yeah.
Put a picture of me and him. Beautiful.
Very good. Very nice.
Oh, you saw it?
No,
I saw the picture.
Oh,
it's all over the world.
I want to know when you're.
it was this Friday. Eric Shabbos.
In New York, the police department.
NYPD, the same
I want to know
department.
when you're going to be promoted.
Politics. But if I'm in there long enough, it'll happen. Min Hashemayim, it'll happen. I'm the shliach in the Upper West Side of the NYPD.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, no, that was wherever I go and people see me. They're like, wow, I have to say Shechiona. I never see this. My first name.
Exactly.
And then, you know, one person almost cried. He's like, at the end of the day, the reality is, if something happens here, who's going to protect us? It's you.
That's what he said.
Yeah. So in Israel, who's protecting the Yidden?
What problem with the Jew?